Hey guys, today we're gonna build a mini text adventure game in which the objective of building this game is teaching you conditional and loops. So you don't need any prior knowledge, just the Python basics video which we have uploaded before, and you can build this game. So in this game, the user gets to choose a character. We're gonna build two characters. One is a warrior and a second one is a mage. A mage is someone who attacks using magic and stuff like that. And we're gonna give them a random amount of health and gold. Gold is basically the currency we will be using in this game. And then we're gonna make different rooms in this game. And then we're gonna make decisions using the conditionals. And we're gonna fight enemies and keep exploring the game until they die or they eventually win. So here we will be in the 6 point, we will be using the concept of loops. So you don't need any prior knowledge, just the Python basics video we uploaded to before, and don't need to worry. We're gonna cover everything. So let's get started. So let's first comment. We'll give a comment for the mini text adventure game. So first we're gonna uh, give it a print statement. It will be like the opening of the game, and it will sound something like this: mini text adventure. Okay. Okay. So after that, we're gonna take a input. The user will give the an integer input, which will tell whether the user has chosen a warrior or a mace. So we want an integer input. Choose a warrior or mace. Okay, we're gonna store this input into a variable. And let's, for example, name this variable as character. So, yeah. So this is Python basics. We just have uh, created a opening sentence for this game, which is basically mini text adventure game. And then we have just given an input, an integer input, which is for choosing the character, the starting character, which is a warrior. The first one, we are giving assigning the number one to the warrior and number second to the mix. So if character equals one, we're gonna print warrior selected, and we're gonna also give it health and some gold. So we're gonna give it uh, health equals, for example, let's say 70, and its attack power, its attack power equals 90. Okay, and this is basically let's understand this statement right here. So basically, the conditionals are if, else if, and else. These three are the conditional statements which are used in Python. So basically, we are saying if the character equals one, which means that if in this input uh, right here, the user has given one as the input, then it will showcase that the character is selected as warrior and its health is given 70 and its attack is given 90. And we're going to create a variable health right here, which will equal to 70, and a variable attack right here, which will equals 90. And then we can also give it some gold. So we're gonna let's give it gold equals 1000, and we all will also create a variable gold equals 1000. So this is we have created the first statement of our if else if, and let's do a thing. We have created the first character as warrior, the second as mace, and let's create another character which is a samurai. Okay, so we have here we have to choose between various characters. For example, a warrior, a mace, or a samurai. So basically, in these type of situations where we have to choose between multiple options, we use if else if situation condition. So we have written the first line of our if else if uh, our conditionals. So if the character equals to one, these things will happen. And if the character which the user have entered is not equal to one, it can be two or three. So basically, we will write elif. Elif is basically means else if, which simply means that if the first condition is not true, then this will happen. Else if character equals to 2, we can just copy this and simply change this. So basically, for the second one, we have selected a maze. So we're gonna write a maze, a maze here, and let's give it health to be 90, and let's give it attack power to be 70, and the starting gold, I think should be let's give it all equal. So let's set the health variable at starting to be 90, the attack variable to be 70, and the gold variable remains the same. And now we're gonna write our third statement, which is basically will be and another elif statement, which will say if character equals to 3, then we will get samurai, and we're gonna print samurai selected, and let's give its health to be 80 and its attack power to be 80, and gold remains the same. So now we have created the three characters, but there is another possibility that the user might type something else than 1, 2, 3, because integer inputs accept all the integer inputs that can be fed into computer memory. So we will gonna write, we have to write another situation, which is an else statement. We have to consider it that if the integer input doesn't match 1, 2, 3, all the three initial conditions, we're gonna print invalid selection. Okay, so we have created the correct character selection screen. You need to keep one thing in mind that we were, by mistake, I was using a single equal to here. A single equal to is used to assign the value of a particular variable, where a double equals to is used to compare the value of the variable. So, for example, here the character in the character input, I have typed 2. So the program will compare its value to each of these statements, and as it gets a correct statement, for example, this one would be correct, the rest of the statement will not be executed, and only this statement will be executed. So let's run this and see how it goes. So let's kind of first delete this one and let's run this. Let me clear the terminal. For example, just a second. Yeah. So let's run this. Uh, so it's showing mini text adventure game, and you have to choose an option. So basically, we have to choose between warrior, maze, or samurai. For example, we choose a maze here, and you see it shows maze selected, and it gives its attributes. Similarly, we can do for a warrior or a samurai. A samurai. Okay, so this is working. So what the if else statements actually does, it checks all these statements and uh, checks which one is correct, and it works according to that. So basically, if we write something else than 1, 2, 3, we, for example, we write 4 here, it will say invalid selection. Okay, so let's clear this out. Uh, let's start building our next section. So similarly, we want to build a story section next, the first decision. So basically, when the character is selected, the first decision is that character goes into a forest, and let's write here between. Okay, so it has to choose between warrior, mage, or samurai. Now let's move to first decision. Basically, in first decision, the character goes into a forest, and there are two turns, basically the left one and the right one. So, the left turn is basically a treasure, and the right one is basically a monster. So, we're gonna create the starting statement, and we're gonna then give take the input in a uh, variable. Basically, uh, we're gonna take our input in the variable turn. So if the turn the user selected is left, then the user found the treasure, and if it has selected a turn which is equal to right, then it has found a monster. If neither of this is typed, then basically we will print that not moved. Okay, so basically, what the real game developers do is basically they create a code like this. They link it to the buttons on the game, and whenever the guy goes for the left or right turn, uh, it founds the thing accordingly. So basically, we are just creating a very simple version of that. We can't create a game like Elden Ring here, right here. So, but we can see that decision making is used in every part of programming. from the basics to everything you can think of. So basically, we have created the first decision. Guys, so now let's create the combat section of this game. So basically, we're gonna give it combat with a boss. So let's give the starting boss health to be 80, and the health we have given here will be decided on the basis of what character we are selecting. So while the bot health is greater than zero and the boss health is greater than zero, the combat sustains. So we are using while loop right here, so that uh, these two conditions hold. While loop we use when we don't know the exact number of iterations that has to be performed. We use for when we know how many times the loops is gonna run. So we use while loop when we have a condition like we have to work until the health becomes zero or negative, or the boss health becomes zero and negative. So we are using and here because we want both conditions to be true. Only then the loop will work. So while health is greater than zero and boss health greater than zero, then we're gonna uh, write some statements here, right? What happens? So we're gonna first print one, which is attack. I'm gonna make two different options. The first one is attack, and the second one is run. Okay. So basically, we have to give another choice variable right here, which will be an input, an integer input. Select one for attack and two to run. Okay, so we have given the choice. Now we're gonna write our if else ladder. So if choice double equals to one, we're gonna say the character has attack. So the boss health will decrease. So boss health equals to boss health, let's say minus 20. So it's showing some problem here. Okay, go for the quick fix here. Yes. Actually, I code in different languages. So basically, uh, I have, I have in other languages there are brackets enclosing this. These are some syntax mistakes, but our logic is right. So no need to worry. So basically, it has the code is written by AI altogether. Let's see it. If choice equals to one, we're gonna decrease the boss health by 20, and we're gonna print the boss health equals to boss health. Basically, you see this is a variable, and if choice equals to, then we then we're simply gonna say you ran away, and else we're gonna print a invalid choice. So we have created the combat one here, the combat section right here. Let's run this and test this. For example, I took a samurai. I go for the right turn, which is the boss turn. I attack, I attacked, and I attacked. So you see the boss health continuously depreciates whenever we attack. And if we run, then simply there will be an option that you have run away. So now, for now, the boss is only attacking. We want that we are only attacking for now. We want the boss also attacks. So we're gonna create that in next section. Okay, so we have now create a we now have to improve our combat so that when we attack, the boss also attacks. So we can create that in this line. After this line only, we can create a nested if right here. After this line actually, so we can create another if right here. If boss health is greater than zero, means the boss hasn't died yet. We can depreciate player health. Health equals to health minus 15. Okay, now if we see, if we run this program again and we choose maze for example, so and we took a right turn, uh, we choose attack. See, every time we choose attack, the boss health depreciates, but we also want it to show our health. So basically, we're gonna write a print statement and we're gonna write health equals to, and we're gonna write here health. And let's run this again. Let's first kind of clear this. Uh, doesn't matter. We choose a samurai. We took a right turn and we attack. Here you can see the boss health and our health both are same. So you can see we can combat and ultimately the boss health becomes zero. So we can write another line. Okay, you need to notice one thing here that if the choice is true, we are breaking this loop. Basically, break statement is used when we have to break the loop and it will move the compiler to everything written outside of this loop. Means it will not execute this loops. This loops basically begins from here uh, and it ends here. You can close this and see what's all written in this loop, and it will move to the next block of code written after that loop. So if let's say if cos health equals to zero after this loop, we're going to print double equals to zero. We're going to print congrats, you have defeated the boss. So let's run this again. And if we want another thing, if the user has not entered one and two, we want to continue the loop. We doesn't want to end the game because you see there are many times when we just don't attack or run, we might go into our inventory and change some items there. We change equipments. So for that case, we're going to write continue right here so that it doesn't just end this loop and till the combat isn't over, the loop doesn't ends. Okay, so boss is equals zero, and it shows the final statement which says you have defeated the boss, and Now we want, for example, our goal to increase. So we're gonna basically uh, create a gold variable at starting, 1,000 gold, and we can basically increase the gold right here. Gold equals to gold plus 1,000. Right. And our game is completed. So basically, this is for win. Okay. So let's run it and check everything is working fine. So basically, first let's clear this terminal out. Just a second. Yeah. So let's run this and let's choose maze and let's go for fight in a right turn and attack, 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 and see. When the boss has become zero, it shows the message you have defeated the boss. And I also want to print the final gold here. Print gold equals to, and we're gonna give comma and write gold here. So let's run this again. We're gonna choose warrior. We're gonna go for a right turn. Uh, uh, then we're gonna attack, 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 and you see it shows the final goal. I've chosen two right here, and it says not moved. Actually, we want that if we choose something we have not moved, if we choose not moved case here, then I want it to uh, continue this thing. We can do that, we can change it, but I'm thinking of giving you as this thing as a homework that to find out how we can uh, make the statement in a way that if we have choose not moved, the compiler doesn't goes to the next part of the program. You have to choose left or right here, then only the compiler goes here. Okay, so uh, you can do this by using the conditionals or loops both way. So that I'm giving you as a homework. So here's a game completed. I hope you enjoyed the video.